We have two articles today. I feel I'll have Aurora read hers first. I didn't even finish reading this, so I don't even...
It's our favorite dude. What's his name again?
Ange Stoic. So I'll have Aurora start with this one. We got some full moon articles.
Yeah, so he calls it the circuit breaker, Taurus supermoon. For all you stalwarts who steadfastly refuse to budge from your cushy little zones of... I love this guy.
I know.
From your cushy little zones of comfort, and for the madcap revolutionists out there, hell-bent on enacting drastic upheaval, or perhaps even seeking revenge, the cosmos has a couple of catalytic surprises up its sleeve. These are epic times, and they're happening now as the universe throws down some celestial gauntlets that could shake even the most unflappable among us. So brace yourselves, my fellow travelers. Strap in tightly. The last supermoon of 2024 arrives not as a gentle minder, but as a cosmic circuit breaker, breaking all stalemates and igniting dynamic detonations that will set our trajectory into the new age. The last supermoon of 2024 is certainly not pulling any punches. It's occurring in the late degree of Taurus and tightly conjunct with the unruly energies of Uranus. This full moon sets the stage for a dramatic face-off between the immovable and the unstoppable as it opposes the Scorpio sun. It seems we're thrust into a maelstrom of conflicting energies that threaten to pry us away from our dearest attachments and compel us to confront the uncomfortable truths we have been avoiding. Taurus and Scorpio together represent one of the zodiac's most unyielding dynamics. It is a clash of persistence versus obsession, possession versus consumption, the determination of the fixed earth sign meeting the searing intensity of water. Taurus wants comfort, constancy, and a steady path forward while keeping life predictable, while Scorpio thrives on the undercurrents, the secrets, the manipulations, and the shadows that Taurus tries to ignore. The fixed polarity opposition means that each side is clinging to its own reality, Taurus to its grounding, and Scorpio to its lust to devour to the point of metamorphosis. And therein lies the crux of this full moon. Under the light of the Taurus full moon, we're shown where we unconsciously cling too hard to comforts that have long since outlived their purpose. Perhaps it's a relationship, a career path, a lifestyle, or a belief system that we hold on to for security. Taurus is both stubborn and self-sufficient, and they are willing to endure almost anything to avoid the chaos of change. Just thinking about like every Taurus I've ever met. But Scorpio pushes us to examine the things we would rather leave buried, exposing every ounce of the emotional and psychological baggage that weighs us down. For some, this may bring a reckoning in relationships where unresolved resentment, insecurities, and possessive tendencies come to the surface. The interchange is always confronting, and the fixed signs will seldom yield without breaking. There is no time for half measure. Either we face the dark side or we risk relationships being torn apart under the strain. This full moon might bring introspection and a painful awareness of where we've been blocking our own growth out of fear. This polarity demands we confront where our desire for security has become an excuse to avoid the very work that Scorpio represents, the uncomfortable but necessary journey of transformation, which is just like such a collective, it's so collective, like watch, like what he's saying and like looking at this, it's like everyone who is clinging to the old so bad because to go through the ego death is like they're avoiding it at all costs. But I think the Scorpio energy will obviously win out on this one. He says, here's where it gets more unpredictable. Taurus loves the comfort of knowing what's coming next, but with Uranus here, the planet of shock, the past 6 years has been far from the usual routine. Not surprisingly, a full moon Uranus conjunction throws a curveball into the mix, delivering a jolt to the steady Taurus energy. This isn't the kind of lunation that, if affected, you can glide through. There is a hard, head-on confrontation with the parts of your life that have fossilized. For anyone who is resisting change, this full moon pulls out the cosmic crowbar, wrenching apart the places in our lives that have become too small, too dumb, too slow, and too predictable. Oh, shit.
I'm crying.
Emotionally, this aspect shakes us to the core, so you can expect to feel a little ungrounded, maybe even radicalized to the point of rebellion. It is the inner urge to break free from the norm and embrace the unknown, even if it feels uncomfortable. With Uranus, life circumstances always carry an element of surprise, so be prepared for rude awakenings, sudden insights, abrupt changes in mood, or decisions that feel like they come out of nowhere. For some, this might mean breaking from relationships. For others, it could mean an unexpected opportunity or epiphany that allows you to rethink your path entirely. Yet there's an undeniable freedom that comes with this full moon. Uranus encourages us to let go of what is no longer vital, to strip away old structures and patterns. And while this process is unnerving, it is also profoundly freeing. The aim isn't to cause chaos for the sake of it, but to release us from structures that don't serve our highest purpose. Pay attention to moments of clarity and instinct, however disruptive they might feel. Sometimes the things we resist or deny the most are the very things we need to welcome and embrace. You know who said that? Mom. You know what we've been saying for like 8 years?
She always said she'd get the last laugh.
She tried to tell everybody. She's like, whatever you... That was her last words. What you resist persists. Over the past month, the sun in Scorpio has increasingly plunged us into a realm where superficial comforts and easy answers won't cut it. Scorpio energy is extreme, demanding an uncompromising look beneath the surface, unearthing everything we've buried and forcing us to confront it within ourselves. The fierce desires, hidden grudges, unspoken motives. Rather than dabbling about, it insists on the whole truth. Opposing this is the full moon, steady and content, but now radicalized by Uranus into agitation. Under Uranus's influence, Taurus's mild conservative nature will become unsettled, forced to put its foot down to preserve the very comforts it normally relies upon. This dynamic creates a tension where the familiar security of Taurus will meet the upheaval of Uranian independence. We have to define what safety truly means. This opposition introduces an internal struggle between